What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Solgr and Fusha Only Show, episode 44 of our weekly podcast. I'm Solgr Only.
I be the one and only Fusha here as well.
And we're usually joined by Homicidal Lou, but this one's kind of on me. I streamed for about 7 hours earlier today, and then I took a nap after, and I literally just barely woke up not that long ago.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't been able to get in touch with him and that. So I don't know. I would not be surprised if he drops by at some point. So
true, fair enough. Yeah, you did call me while I was out running errands, and you didn't mean to on the video chat. I'm like, wait, what? And
yeah, that's the second time that's happened.
It happens. It's actually quite adorable because when I answer, you're like asleep and you don't even realize you called me. And I'm like, well, wait, what?
Yeah, I somehow do like a messenger video call somehow.
It's great. I love when you do it. All of that, yeah.
Like the first time you were out running errands or whatever, and the call came through, and you answer it, and it was just me
passed out. Yeah, it was when I was up at my grandparents', and then I was like outside smoking, and I'm like, babe, and like, what? Did you call me? Oh no, you called me.
Yeah, it was weird from my point of view because, I guess I was asleep and I could just hear, babe, babe, and I'm like, what the hell? And I look at the phone, I'm like, what are you doing there? Her face was just on my phone.
It was great. It was priceless. I love it.
Yeah, I was so confused that time. That was so bizarre, but...
Yeah, but by the time you must have been out for at least 3 hours. A solid 3 hours.
Today?
Yeah.
Tonight? Really? Was it that long?
Yeah, because it was around 4. It was like 3:30 going on 4.
Yeah.
Went down for a nap, and then I left about 4:30 and got back around 6 ish because I had to go to the store, and then I also went up to see my buddy. But
yeah, because I think I started the stream around 8, and I know I streamed for about 7 hours, so that would put it around 3.
Well, I'm glad you came and woke me up at noon because I needed to get up.
Yeah.
I kind of woke up and I rolled over and you weren't there, so I just put my arm in your spot, and I'm like, he's probably streaming. I'm too tired to check, and then fell back asleep.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Right, inebriation in chat. Us old guys need naps.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, that's the way my weekend streams usually go, right?
Which is so weird because during the week you still have all that energy, but then the weekend streams come along and you start streaming at 4, anytime between 4 and 7 a.m. And then by noon you're like, your character is just running into walls and dying.
Speaking of which, I almost did a 4 a.m. stream this morning.
Yeah, you would have been.
And I'm glad I actually just said no, lay back down and went back to bed for a little bit more. But yeah, because that's how it goes. Monday through Friday, I work, and then I just do 3, 4, 5 hour stream after work. But then the weekends, like you said, I start in the morning.
Well, which is still kind of odd because we didn't get the chance to stream at all yesterday due to what we were doing.
No, yesterday was the first day I took off since our wedding.
Wow.
And
I didn't realize that.
So that's pretty much only 2 days I've took off since started streaming in March.
It's not bad. I needed a nap. I just about fell asleep with him, and then I woke up in a panic like, oh crap, I need to get over here and do this thing before they close at 5, and it was already 4:30 that I'm like, I got 10 minutes to go there and pay this bill. I kind of gotta go.
Yeah, 7 months of streaming, and there's only 2 days I've took off. And both times we were planning on streaming, both times, and it just ended up, we just got home too late and didn't. It was the same thing on both occasions.
Well, either way, you still got my support whenever you want to stream. Go for it. Just don't fall asleep on stream.
Right, I know, yeah. I've showed people before, you even leave these little notes on the keyboard, like I love you, husband, keep up the good work, play hard,
Right. It's the best.
Most girlfriends don't really like their significant others playing games and stuff.
I was upgraded from girlfriend status.
Did I say girlfriend?
Yeah.
I meant significant. Okay, yeah, so.
You're okay. No, I did the same
most
thing.
People wives. And...
No, I did the same thing with my uncle, Gary, that was over at my mom's. He's like, wait, so is he your boyfriend or is he your husband? And I'm like, he's my boyfriend. He's my husband, but at that time, he was my boyfriend. So it's I'm still getting used to calling him my husband.
Yeah, it's still, yeah, it's still a little bit different. I still haven't gotten the hang of it. I mean, I that was literally the first time that I've actually said girlfriend. I mean, I've always been like saying wife and remembering to, but it's been what, a little bit over a month.
Month
So
and a half.
yeah, a
The
month and a
23rd
half.
of this
Yeah,
month will be 2 months. And you know what? Inebriation, you will not always be. There is someone out there for you.
yeah, there is for everyone. And I know, like, trust me, I hated hearing that stuff every time someone would say something like that. It's just like, oh, shut up, you know, like someone like.
Yeah, but then again, we give
But then
people
it happens.
diabetes.
I know. I do so much stuff now that like the younger me like just hated when older people did it. You know, like when it's like I don't know. There's so much. I don't even know where to even start. But
Right.
there's so much stuff when you're younger. People tell you, like, oh, like your elders tell you, and you're always just like, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And now, like, I'm at that point. It's just like when I'm telling younger people that, I'm like, I know how I sound. Trust me. I when I was in your shoes, I hated me at this time. Like
Right.
it's crazy. Like just getting older and stuff is great. Like
Weird.
I've actually brought this up a couple times too. I brought it up the other day to my boss at work, and then I brought it up. Was it today or yesterday? No, because I didn't stream yesterday, so I think it might have been earlier this morning.
Yeah.
That video you showed me of the kids reacting to a payphone for the first time, and
I was almost in tears when I watched that.
yeah,
I was like, oh my goodness. I saw it as a parent fail. Because yeah, your kid is now 7, 8 years old. They have no idea what a payphone is. Like, how do you not know what a payphone is?
yeah. Most of the kids in that were what, 7 to 11. I think one of the
Yeah,
oldest
seven,
was like 11.
11 or 12 was the oldest, and they're like, "How do you talk on this? It doesn't have Snapchat.
Yeah,
It
yeah. How do you Snapchat and text on it?
yeah. How do you text on it?" And
How
it's
do you
like,
text and Snapchat on it?
it's a phone. You know what that you know what we used payphones for back in our day? Quarter. Hey, pick me up here.
Yeah,
I'm ready for you to pick me up.
yeah. From
And
the
that.
from the arcade or the movies or,
Mm-hmm.
or wherever your parents dropped you off at, and they give you a couple quarters. Say, okay, call us when you're
Yeah.
when you're ready for us to come get you.
We were one of the last generations to actually play until the streetlights came on. And then it
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, that's when we need to get home. Or
That's literally how it
mm,
was for me too. Like when the streetlights come home, get your ass home.
pretty much.
Yeah.
It made me feel really old seeing how many kids are like, what is this? Why is it so big? How does it work? I'm like, it's a
It was kind of
parent fail.
depressing. It was
Yeah.
depressing to see,
See,
really.
and so when we do finally have a kid, she's gonna watch um, that movie Payphone. She'll be afraid of them, but
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they are kind of relics to see when you see them on the side of the road nowadays.
yeah,
It's
you do
like,
still see some around that are like, eh. You
yeah,
can
yeah.
tell they
There's a
haven't
few like
used
downtown. Yeah,
or way
it's just
past
crazy
it.
because then, like we said when we watched that too, it's like it wasn't that long ago
It really wasn't.
when they still had a use. Like when
Mm-hmm.
they were still being used. Because I mean, what is it? We're in 2017. Like even like 10 years ago, like they were still at some extent being used. That was kind of around the time when they were kind of starting to
Yeah,
fade out. But
that was probably when they were fading out because I didn't
mm,
get my first cell phone until I was in my sophomore year of high school.
yeah,
And I was already 16, 17 at the time. And then that's when I still had the flip phones.
hmm.
Then the sliders, like those kick ones, whatever they were, sidekick.
Oh, I remember the
Those
sidekicks. Yeah.
sidekicks were the biggest hit for a while. And then
Hmm.
another phase was
Did you
the
ever have one?
Razor. No,
I never got one. I
no.
remember I wanted one, but
Yeah, I remember I wanted Jamie's phone that she had. It was one of those little pebble ones. It was a flip phone, but it was like this big and it like rounded off. And the name of it was Pebble. And I'm like, oh, I like it so much.
I don't
But
remember
then
those ones.
I ended up getting my own flip phone that was like a more square.
Yeah.
And then I upgraded from the flip phone to a slider where like I would slide it up for the keyboard.
Yeah,
And
I
then
didn't know Kia one like that.
see, and that's another thing kids don't realize that do have smartphones is when we first started texting on our flip phones and on our sidekicks, we had to hit like the if we wanted C, we had to hit the A button twice to
Like
get
two or three
C.
times,
Yeah,
yeah.
like it wasn't just do do do
It would be
do.
three
It
times
was
because you'd have to go A, B, C.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had actually work to text.
Well, yeah, that's the thing now, because like literally phones, you don't see phones with buttons. Because remember,
No.
even in that video, that kid said something. He's like, you actually, there's buttons. You have to actually hit buttons or something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Well, see, and like even flip phones died out. Like everybody has a touchscreen phone now,
Yeah.
and it's just what it's
Even
become.
even burner phones, like dirt phones. I think you might still be able to get like a burner flip phone, maybe, but for the most part, even those are touchscreen nowadays.
Yeah, I remember Dino, my stepdad. He had a flip phone because he didn't want to. He wasn't
didn't
very
care
into
about all that. Yeah, he didn't need all that extra stuff that they have now.
I know there'd be times I'd send him a text just saying, "Hey, love you," and then he'd end up calling me or having my mom text me back. He doesn't text. I'm like, I know it wasn't intended for him to respond. I just wanted him to know.
Yeah, like see, like with mine, I remember. Okay, so I remember when I was in like my probably sophomore year or something of high school. I remember I had like it was like a prepaid one, and it was like a freaking brick.
Right.
But then like the first like real cell phone I had, like actual, I think it was AT&T or Singular even. I think it might have been the service I had first, but that's what it was. Yeah, the first like real phone I had like that, it was Nokia. It was the top of the line one at the time. It was just one of the just like rectangle ones, but it wasn't slider, it wasn't flip phone, it was just the regular just buttons.
With the little antenna at the top.
It didn't have the antenna. It was like the first models that didn't have those. But it was the ones that had like the snake game. The screens were black and green. They didn't have color yet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the screens were black and.
And then my second phone, so the phone I got after that was a flip phone, and I remember that was the selling point of that phone was that it was a color screen. It was the first time screens came in color.
It's like that meme you see. Have you ever regenerated so hard the whole world saw color?
I love that one.
I love that too.
That's such a good Doctor Who meme.
It's so true. It really is.
Speaking of which, yeah, we're gonna be. I can't wait for the Christmas special this year. That's gonna be.
We're already into the holiday season, and I'm like, oh Jesus, I'm not ready for the cold.
That's actually a really good segue. Actually, shows coming up. When we were just smoking right before we started recording.
The Good Doctor.
I was gonna go on The Walking Dead, but the Good Doctor.
I think
that looks really good.
I want to watch it. I actually like that kid as an actor. I think he's pretty good.
He did excellent in The Bates Motel. So it's gonna be interesting to see him something in that, because in this he's playing he's autistic in this.
He reminds, like, the whole series reminds me of House. That and it's by the same creators. I think it's gonna have the same kind of humor that House did. I loved House. I was addicted to House. I was always watching it.
I can see it being similar to, like, humor wise, similar to House in the sense where it's like it's a serious movie or show, and they don't have those comedic moments throughout it. But I think it's going to be a different type of humor than House, because House was like that sarcastic. Yeah, he's kind of an a-hole kind of type thing.
Whereas this one's kind of like, haha, I told you I could do it.
I don't know. In the previews I've seen, he doesn't really come off as like arrogant or cocky, like House was too. House was a narcissist pretty much.
He has that smile like a "told you so," but he's not like acting like it, But then again, I haven't really seen the show yet because I know it's on Mondays, but I watch Big Bang on Monday.
Is it around the same time? Probably.
It could be. I don't know if it's the same time or not. But the one show I do want to come back is The Detour.
That's in the fall too, isn't it?
I thought so.
I swear I think it is.
The Detour cracks me up. It is so unconventional, and it is just hilarious.
Speaking of comedic shows too, You're the Worst. Me and you loved season 1. Me and you really loved season 1. Season 2, I remember we started watching it, and it just kind of, there was a few things about it. We kind of fell out of it.
Yeah, the humor had changed, and it wasn't as funny.
Well, the focus of it too,
the focus too,
like the main female, her best friend. They focused a lot more on her, and like I just couldn't stand her character. And
same.
Yeah, I mean, it was still good. It still had some really good like comedic moments and stuff, but the first season was just so good. It was kind of like,
This season, yeah, that first season was the best. It had us cracking up.
And it was short too, remember? Because
Yeah.
it was just like a 4 or 5 episode run, and then.
Because it was when it first came out.
I mean, you see that with shows, you know, they'll like. Sometimes they'll do just a pilot, and then they'll see if they're gonna sign on for more episodes or not. I think that one, I think they signed for like 4 or 5 episodes from the start, and it did well.
Yeah.
And then that's why I think on the second one, I think they had more episodes. That's kind of how it usually goes.
But yeah, the one he was talking about the beginning was Walking Dead is in 14 days.
Yes, I cannot wait for that. Especially.
I'm nervous.
God, I am too. I'm trying to remember exactly how it ended. I mean, spoiler warning in case you guys didn't see the end of last season. Yeah. We're kind of going to get into it a little bit right now. So, but I think, okay, so I remember the attack, and then the kingdom showed up, and holy shit, that's a tiger.
And he's driving off.
He drives off, flipping
them off.
Yeah. And that was pretty much the end, right? And then I remember it ended, and you could tell like I think he's a little cautious of Eugene right now.
Yeah, I think he is.
So yeah, and that's pretty much where it left off. So yeah, I can't wait till we get back into it, because it's gonna be awesome. Because like we said, you know, now the kingdom and all them are back. Like I think our survivor groups are more united than they've been now with Hilltop Kingdom and Alexandria. So, and then whatever. I have a feeling we're gonna be seeing the Riverside community again this season.
I think so too. I can see it. I mean, they took all their guns, and then the one garbage
heapsters. Yeah, the heapsters that they're.
I knew not to trust them. I knew not to. It's like. No.
Well, you know what though? Like I think Saviors. Okay, I think them and the Saviors is gonna go bad between them, and then you're gonna kind of see both Alexandria and the Saviors kind of going against the Heapsters, but then I can see the Heapsters maybe aligning with.
They've already aligned with Negan.
I know they have, exactly. I know, but I can see it going bad, and then you're gonna see them. I don't know if that will necessarily make them join with Alexandria, but it's gonna turn into like a triangle. You know, like you're eventually gonna have all three against each other. I'm sure. Because remember, like they kind of showed signs like that they might go that way, because there was that little disagreement a little bit. I mean, all that stuff started going on, so they couldn't really, you know, they didn't really get into it. But I'm trying to remember what is that group actually called? Like just the fan base kind of calls them the Heapsters, but
garbage people.
It's just like the garbage.
In Walking Dead because they betrayed.
Yeah, they're weird. They're a weird group. I mean,
the whole season, the second they were introduced, I was like, I don't trust them. I don't like them.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. You didn't trust them right from the get go. Yeah. I kind of didn't either. I was kind of giving them a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt than you were, but
I wasn't giving any doubt or hope. I'm like, nope, there's just something fishy with them.
Especially that. What was the name of that walker that Rick had to kill? Like. God, the thing was.
It was like Charles or something.
It was like a male's name. It was like just a first name, and yeah, that thing was crazy looking.
It was by far.
So yeah, I'm stoked to get Walking Dead back again. Wait, is this season 7?
I think so.
Is it 7 or 8? I think it's 7. I know, I can't believe I'm forgetting right now, but it's right there somewhere. It's 7 or 8.
I know there's.
It's something there.
I think it's. Well, they've reached their 100th episode.
I think the premiere. Is actually the 100th episode.
I think so.
If not, it's definitely one of the first ones I know.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure. I think it's the first one is going to end up being the 100. Because I know their seasons are up to 16 episode seasons now. I think I could be wrong, but I think that first season was only 8.
It could be,
but I could be wrong, because if they're 16, I don't want to math right now. I'm still half asleep, but I'm pretty sure it's season 7. So
I think it's Walking Dead, and I'm excited.
I know it's funny because like right when the weather starts to cool down and the leaves starting to change color, and you're like, it's Walking Dead season. You know, like it's getting close to Walking Dead season.
I know, because they were playing Fear the Walking Dead they've been playing that, and we were watching one of the episodes, but we don't know what's going on in the series because we weren't able to keep up with that one.
Yeah, our whole Fear the Walking Dead experience has been when the show premiered, the first season, we watched first 2 maybe episodes. Only 1 or 2. I know we definitely
like
watched
the first 2, yeah.
It was the first 2. Yeah, we watched the first 2 and we liked it. It wasn't like it wasn't good or anything, but for whatever reason we just kind of just didn't dive into it like you think we would. But we really need to get caught up on it because what I have seen of it, it's a really good series, and we're such a huge fan of the Walking Dead universe. You think we'd be into it more because then you're gonna have that year round. You're gonna have that year round fix of the Walking Dead universe. You know.
It's not year round though.
Well, no, because you have Walking Dead in the fall and then them in the summer. But
no, the Fear the Walking Dead.
It's in the summer usually.
It's right before the season finale of Fear the Walking Dead is the weekend before The Walking Dead starts.
I mean,
it's kind of ends summer, but I mean, it's like there's still May and March and April that we don't have any Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, there's still a point where you're like without it, but you definitely. Because Fear the Walking Dead, I know the first season only had 4 or 5 episodes, a few episodes, and then I don't know if they're up to like a full 16 like the regular Walking Dead, but I know they have a lot more during their seasons now because this one that's ending I think was actually the 3rd.
I think it was, yeah.
This was the 3rd season of Fear the Walking Dead, I believe.
Yeah, but then it's like you were saying earlier with the phones and how much we've evolved. It's like we were watching Desperado last night.
Oh yeah.
And it showed the phone, and he's just like the.
Squirrel.
But yeah, anyways, back to Walking Dead. I am super stoked. It is 14 days away, and soon we'll start having our Talking Decay on Mondays too.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I want to make sure I wanted to watch too because. Last year was our first season of Talking Decay when we started doing our Walking Dead podcast.
But we didn't start doing it until like halfway into the season.
Yeah, we didn't start at the beginning of the season, right? It was...
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, because I remember the first episode, we had to go over the first few episodes of the season to kind of get us caught up with the to get it caught up with the podcast. And we also weren't streaming it last year either. We weren't even doing video for the Walking Dead podcast. It was literally just audio versions.
Yeah, so this time it'll be Talking Decay, where you'll actually see my emotions of frustration and.
But those last season episodes are still on YouTube in a playlist. It's just an audio. They're just audio though. Yeah. They're not video or anything. But we are going to stream it like how we did with this podcast. We'll be streaming our Walking Dead one as well. So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to get it because it's funny because like we mentioned it before in past episodes of Talking Decay though, like where you watch that show, literally the whole hour or hour and a half, however long that particular episode is, you literally watch it with your stomach and not like holding your breath.
God,
you know,
yeah.
like
it gives me anxiety attacks.
It does.
Really does.
Like the emotional damage from that.
That's my favorite saying to say about anything that I get like really deep into. Is that it may just be a show, but the emotional damage is real. It like truly is. Like when we were watching The Walking Dead's last season, you saw me every time. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Ah, how could they let that happen? How did this happen? Oh my god. And so it's just like that, like anxiety and stress hits. Like it's like I know it's just a show, and I know Doctor Who is just a show, but the emotional damage is real.
Yeah, even Doctor Who has moments like that too, where it's like
when Matt Smith left, I was like, no, I don't want you to go, Matt Smith.
Yeah, even with how many times we've seen his final episode and his regeneration scene, and then like his monologue, like his farewell monologue, like no matter how many times we've seen it, it always gets you because it was like. And that's why, like, I'm kind of bracing myself for Capaldi's, you know, to kind of see what his is going to be like, because his is another case. He doesn't necessarily want to go. Like, he likes doing it, but I know it's kind of one of those things where it's just a little too physically demanding.
He can't quite keep up with it, but I'm interested to see what the new Doctor is going to be like now that we know it's a woman.
I'm stoked for it. I hope, you know, because, you know, there's a lot of doubters and there's a lot of people that are kind of bummed or pissed. I'm excited too. I just hope. Excited. I'm gonna be stoked if she like wins him over. You know, like I
That's
hope she
yeah, me
does.
too.
Like I don't know. I'm stoked because there's so many different things they can do with it now, and they're obviously I think one of the first kind of like big arcs that they'll probably go down is like what caused the gender change. You know, like because I think before in the past I think we've heard something that for a Time Lord to have a gender switch or something when they regenerate, it has to wasn't it was like it had to be suicide or something. I think they mentioned before.
I don't know.
But they can change it though too, because I'm trying to remember. I watched a Doctor Who show. They were saying
Not
that's
sure.
how it used to be, but then there's been more recent instances where
Yeah.
that wasn't the case. Because like with the Master,
Well, and that's what I was just about to say. Is I love when the master turned into Missy.
I loved it too.
I loved it. It was just like a whole different aspect
On
to
that
it
on that
because
episode when it was revealed that's who she was, Missy, short for mistress. Well, I can't go on calling myself Master the whole time now, could I? I was
right.
like, oh
Oh
my
my
god,
god.
that's the Master. It's a woman.
Yeah.
I was
And
yeah, I was stoked.
I loved how because she did so good
She
as
was so
Missy,
good. Yeah,
and
she
I
was so
loved
good.
the master turning into a woman. I thought it was very well played.
Mm-hmm. And I think the doctor. What I can't remember her name now. Who's going to be the doctor? I'm sorry. I can't remember.
Jodie Whittaker.
That is it.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Which I haven't
I hope she
actually.
knocks it out of the park. Like I
That's what
really
I'm
want her
hoping
to.
too, because I haven't actually seen anything that she's in, or like the only thing I've ever seen is her interview with like a radio station, and so like I've heard her voice, and it made me kind of nervous because it's unexplainable.
Is she British or is she Scottish or I can't remember
I'm not sure.
because we've had a few Scottish doctors before because Tennant is actually Scottish but he kind of had just the English accent or whatever. But then with Capaldi, who's Scottish as well, they actually let him. He not let him. That sounds that's a wrong turn of phrase. But uh, he kept his Scottish accent, and they even worked it into the story. Like he's all, "Oh, I'm Scottish. Like, why am I speaking Scottish?" Like.
Yeah, they did work it in. Like, I think she's gonna do good. I hope she does good. But it's just like that one short interview I saw out there. She just, I don't know, maybe it's
I
just
did
she just
watch a
seems
little
short of
bit
breath. Like,
because that interview it was after she knew that she was going to be the doctor, and it was after it had been revealed, right? Because they were obviously
it was
talking
after
about
it
it.
had been revealed because she was talking about how she, for a while, was the only one besides the people who hired her to be the doctor
That knew for a
that
while.
knew, and so she couldn't tell anybody. And
Yeah, I think I saw something. I didn't click on it, but I think it was just like a headline or something, and I think it was like uh, the next Doctor's companion or something. And it's a male, like it's a guy, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was, or like I said, I didn't click on it. So, but
that'll be
I
in
think we
like
might know who the companion's going to be already too.
yeah, that'll be in 2 months. 'Cause we're in October.
Yeah, Christmas special, and then after the Christmas special, the next seasons normally don't start until like April or something. Isn't it April? I think.
Yeah, it's around there. I have to remember to get ibuprofen.
I know.
On a side note,
I still kind of got a little minor hangover headache a little bit.
my teeth are killing me.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I mean, the only thing that we've really seen obviously was that little reveal clip.
Yeah, it was short. It was really short. But
I love how they did it though. It was awesome how they filmed it. I liked the. I mean, she doesn't even say anything in it. I love just that smirk and like I like her look. I like her wardrobe. Like I like how she looks. And you know like every adaptation of the Doctor as it moves down, you can kind of see where they keep something from the previous incarnation. Like. Well, let's see. Eccleston to Tennant, not much really. What I mean by that is she's still kind of wearing like kind of a coat that Capaldi would kind of wear, like it's kind of like that coat with like a hoodie underneath it with a hood. Like she kind of still has that like Capaldi like kind of his wardrobe. So sometimes I like how they do that. It's kind of like these things, and sometimes it's not even to the incarnation that was right before. Sometimes it's incarnations that was back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like there was the one when what doctor was it? But he had the like question. Remember the old doctor that had the question mark collar and
David Peterson.
Oh,
He was because the fourth Doctor was Tom Baker,
yeah,
and I think he was the fifth.
Peter Davison
Peter, yeah,
was the one.
yeah. I
I
said it
think that had the
backwards.
question marks. Yeah,
Yeah. Did I say Peter Davison or did I say David Peterson?
I think you might said. I don't know.
I think I said David Peterson, but
Yeah,
I
you
meant
might have.
Peter Davison because he's the one. His daughter played the Doctor's daughter, and his daughter is married to
David Tennant.
David Tennant.
Yeah.
And they now have like 2 kids.
It's funny too because that little web short, I love that, and it takes place after that previous episode and then before the Titanic one.
Right. It's
and
so good.
I love when he's like, "You were my doctor, like." I love those moments in Doctor Who where it's like
so touching.
It's almost breaking the fourth wall in a way because. And I think a lot of the times, I don't think it's even scripted. Like, honestly, I think a lot of it's right from the heart. We saw it in that with David Tennant saying, "You're my doctor, doctor." We saw it with Matt Smith and
River Song, Good Night, Bad Night, Last Night, First Night.
That one too. But the one I was getting at, Tom Baker, when he came back as the curator.
Yeah, in the 50th anniversary. I loved that.
That
Who knows?
Yeah, I love the look on Matt's face too, and he's like, "I know you. I might have been you," or like, I love just those exchanges that you see too, and
I love Tom Baker being in that. You can see how much he's aged.
I wish I could have seen your mom's reaction. Because I remember, because you hear his voice first, and I remember you said your mom was like grabbing you, like, because that was your mom's doctor, when she was a kid. That was.
If it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't know Doctor Who like I do.
No, and if it wasn't for you, then I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't know it.
It was a full conversion.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think, because it's been like 3 years now that I've been in it now or something, because.
It's been at least 2.5.
Like going on 3 soon, yeah.
But yeah, it was great when I was watching the 50th Christmas special with my mom. And she's like, "Oh my God, I recognize that voice."
Because it's that voice, Tom Baker has that. He just has that distinctive voice, especially like how he spoke when he was the Doctor too, and he still had it. He still spoke that way in that 50th anniversary special thing.
That's
it is. I know it always is. I really wish I could have seen your mom's reaction on that though. That would have been awesome to see.
It would have been.
Especially just the emotion in it too, like oh God, and that's the thing, because like I've been seeing some stuff like Tom Baker. I don't know if he's still been doing them like recently, but I know for a long time he was still doing like audiobook episodes and stuff.
He was for a while. I don't know if he still is.
Yeah, because I've seen stuff before, like ads and stuff for like audio.
Yeah.
Episodes and stuff, because even Paul McGann and stuff had done some too as the 8th Doctor, and that's another guy. Like he was from the small screen time that we've had of him. I really wish that we could have had more screen time with him.
It wasn't me that did it this time.
I mean, he was really good in the '97 movie, but when I think he was really good, and I would love to see it more, was how he was in the web short. I can't remember the name of it, but it's when he regenerates into the War Doctor.
Yeah.
And that was actually part of the 50th anniversary special too. It was just a small short that they did for it. And God, I wish The Night of the Doctor. It might have been that one. That might have been the name of it. I can't remember, but the Sisterhood of Karn or whatever. He drinks that potion where he could regenerate into a specific type.
I need a good chair.
Speaking of which, rip John Hurt.
Oh,
I keep forgetting he passed, and
I know.
Which sucks. He was a phenomenal actor. I'm stoked that he got a chance to play the Doctor though. Like that's awesome because
it is.
Because I know he loved that part too. Because like I read some stuff on it where he loved that part because he was once again he was a huge fan of the show, and he was really good in V for Vendetta.
He was.
Speaking of which, remember the
5th of November.
5th of November, V-Day.
Remember the 5th of November.
Mm-hmm.
My teeth really hurt.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to pull through, but I need to get some aspirin or something.
I know. All right. Yeah. We've actually been rambling for quite a while. I've been able to fill out this episode.
I know. This episode is full of gibberish and this and that.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that at the beginning that like since I literally just woke up that we're just kind of just gonna ramble on this one. I mean, I am gonna get into some Destiny stuff and some video game stuff, but and as we said, I think it was last week the first time we mentioned it, how we want to get into start having like a movie segment where you talk about maybe a movie you want to see or one we've seen in the past and just whatever, just a movie discussion, everyone. And
like last night we watched Desperado.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I hadn't seen that in a long time. And it was like, whoa, this movie is older than I thought it was. It's like it came out in 95.
95, yeah.
I was like 6 years old. I'm like, I remember watching this movie all the time.
Yeah, I've always loved that movie too, and I've seen it so many times, but like you, I hadn't seen it in a long time.
Another one that I've been wanting to watch is like Lord of War. I haven't seen that in a while. I've been wanting to rewatch it.
And see, I really want to see it too because I've only seen it once when we watched it in the past.
That first time we watched. It's a wonderful. It is such a good movie.
That's the Nicolas Cage one when he's the arms dealer, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, when he's the arms dealer and then meets his wife and his wife doesn't know what he does and he's being followed by like the FBI or whatever and they're trying to lock him up and near the end, spoiler, they finally get him, but because he's been doing legit work for the government, they're like, no, you're gonna release him. You're not gonna.
Because he was doing it for the CIA or something, right?
Yeah, it was. No, it was like the CIA or something that was following him. It was trying to catch him doing the underground.
But he was doing it for the government, but like really secret. Like they didn't even know that he was.
I don't remember if it's based on a true story or not, but I remember he was selling to both sides of the war. He just saw it as a dollar sign that, okay, I'll sell you this many guns, then I'm going to turn around and sell your enemy this many guns.
Yeah.
That got him into some trouble.
Speaking of arms dealer, and I believe it was a true story too, I want to see that one that Jonah Hill and Miles Teller was in.
Or something like that.
I don't think it was Watch Dogs. It was something, or Dogs of War.
I think it was
Dogs of War. Wasn't that what it was called?
I wanted to see that one too because she's like, you told me you sold stuff like pillows. That one looked funny. I wanted to see that one too.
Especially, can you imagine those two together, Jonah Hill and Miles Teller?
I think yeah.
I mean, those two are excellent comedic actors, So, and that's that on paper. That's just obviously, like I said, I haven't seen it. Just some of the previews and stuff. But on paper, that's an excellent combination with Jonah Hill and Miles Teller, and that's an interesting movie because it's a true story comedy, but it looks like it could be really serious and stuff at times and really dramatic. That's a pretty good recipe for a pretty good movie, So
I wonder if it's on Netflix.
I can see it being one of those ones that might end up on Netflix.
It'd be cool because we watched 21 or something, 21 and Over.
That was on Netflix, right?
That movie was actually funnier than I thought it was going to be.
And that was like one of the first movies we really saw with Miles Teller when we were like, God, this kid's hilarious,
We killed Jeff Chang.
Oh my God, we just killed Jeff Chang.
Again,
yeah.
That movie was so great. I wasn't expecting it
that
to
one
be
could
as
probably,
funny.
Yeah, that one could probably go on our list.
It should. Yeah, I was not expecting it to be as funny as it was, and it was great.
Speaking of Dogs of War or whatever, if that was the name of it, maybe I would almost just buy that, like, because I was thinking, I don't know if I really saw any reviews with it or anything. Like, I think it did pretty good. Like,
I think it did decent.
Like critically, like I think the critics liked it. I think I'd have to look into it.
I'd be willing to bet we could find it at FYE for like $2.
Well, yeah, used especially. I mean,
$2-3.
I mean, why?
It's on a budget.
Exactly. I mean, we get movies like really good price and stuff too. I mean, we buy them used from them, and because I've sold movies to them before, and they're really picky. Like if they even have just the slightest smudge or little nick in it, they won't take them.
Before they accept you selling them any DVDs or anything,
they'll literally open every single one and look at it.
And that's why I like going there, because it's like, they're only paying you like $2-3 for it, and they're gonna turn around and sell it for $3-4, but it's like, it works out perfect. They'll
usually offer it to you like not quite, not really like 50%, but it's a small percentage of what they plan on selling.
I know it's like at least $1, because because I went and got rid of some of them, but I kept the majority
Well,
of them.
yeah, cause like when I sold some of my seasons
Mm.
to him, I think I was getting. It depended on which ones, obviously, but I remember some of them I would get like 20-30 bucks for them.
Yeah. Well, and that's how I got Running with Scissors.
But those were like some more newer ones. Like that was when could have been in like the newest like
Mm.
CSI one or something.
Yeah. Running with Scissors is a very funny one too that I love. I read the book on that one.
That's another true story one.
Yeah, they actually did really good from the book to the movie with Running with Scissors, and I just enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, we've kind of talked about that a little bit before. I don't know if it was the episode or Daily Dose or whatever when we were kind of talking about like video or books adapted into video games adapted into movies. I mean, every now and then you'll see a book adapted into a movie really well.
It's rare. It is very super rare.
But what's even more rare is video games adapted into a good movie.
That's true. The only good video game movie there is Grandma's Boy, and it's not even about.
It's not based off a game. Yeah, that's just a movie in the industry.
The Resident Evil ones are the complete opposite of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the Lord Tomb Raider ones, Lara Croft.
See, I'm glad. Yeah, see, I'm glad you mentioned that because I actually didn't watch the full trailer yet because that trailer recently came out with the Tomb Raider reboot movies that are going to be coming out, and they're going to be more based off of the newer rebooted Tomb Raider video game series. So like the Rise of the Tomb Raider and those games. Which those games have been phenomenal. Like I'm glad that the series has gone down that road because those new ones are really good, and I'm hoping that the movie will follow suit. I mean, because speaking of which, too, we hear about an Uncharted movie in the works, a Division movie in the works. So I mean, who knows? Like
I'm nervous for Uncharted.
I'm so nervous for that one.
Like I'm okay just the what do you call it, theoretical or
theatrical?
Theatrical. Yeah, I'm okay with the theatrical scenes throughout the game of playing Uncharted.
Oh yeah, like the cinematics, like how you can watch them when they put it all together like a movie from the game.
That's what I like the most.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be really hard for them to turn that into a legit movie without making it corny or destroying it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of cool to think, oh, hey, yeah, bring Uncharted to life, but at the same time, it's like the game itself, it has its cinematic parts that it's like funner to play within the game and then like get to each part.
Well, and it's so good too. It's like it really almost already is like watching an excellent movie, and it's like I would rather have them try and make a different game into a movie and try and make it really good, because like I said, it's the Uncharted games are so good and cinematic already, but then some of the things that I've been hearing about the movie, it's kind of not getting off on, like they've been having a hard time with it. Like they keep having directors hired and fired, scripts written and thrown out, actors hired and fired. Like we still don't really know who's even playing Drake probably at this point. Like Mark Wahlberg's name was thrown around at one point. I think Chris Pratt's name was thrown around at one point. But the thing is every time, like when I was researching, like it was kind of a little while ago, but when I was researching some news on the Uncharted movie, they would go to like Neil Druckmann and stuff, like some of the directors of the game, and they would try and corroborate some of the stuff that the people that are doing the movie were kind of talking about, and he would be like, well, we don't really have anything to do with the movie. I don't know if that's going on or not. So it's kind of like they're not on the same page as the directors of the game, So it's like if the people, because Neil Druckmann and the people that did the Uncharted game, they are incredible at what they do. Like, because he also did The Last of Us and stuff too. So, and of course they just wrapped up Uncharted: Lost Legacy, which was very good. And up next, I'm pretty sure Last of Us 2 is what they're on next. I mean, we already saw like a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we'll probably finally see something substantial on Last of Us 2 probably at the next E3, I would think.
Possibly. It's hot in here and my teeth hurt.
I know. We'll wrap it up in a second.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm such
what I wanted to get into, Destiny news wise, is so the faction rallies wrapped up this last Tuesday earlier in the week, and pretty much to the surprise of nobody, Dead Orbit was the faction that won the first faction rally. Bungie has mentioned that the faction rally will be a recurring event that will come in the future. They didn't tell. I mean, we don't know if it's like a monthly or maybe like an every other weekly kind of thing. Only thing that they really said is that faction rallies will be back in the future at some point. And there's actually been a couple new weapons that have showed up in the weapon database that should be here for the next faction rally. And if those are in there already, then the next faction rally could be coming really soon.
I can see it coming soon.
And speaking of coming soon, Iron Banner is making its Destiny 2 debut on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. And once again, it will be going from this Tuesday for up until next Tuesday. So it's still a week. And then, of course, there's going to be new, weapons and new armor sets. This past Thursday on the TWAB, they did show off some of the Iron Banner armor and stuff. Did I show you any of that?
I don't think so.
I pulled it up on the stream, so that's something I'm getting in habit of doing on Thursdays now, where I actually pull up the TWAB on the stream, so you'll be able to see it on the stream, and we read it and go over it. And
that's cool.
But they had pictures of the Hunter, Titan, and Warlock Iron Banner armor.
I can't wait to get my Warlock.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I don't know how good this is going to show on stream, but we actually unboxed this earlier on stream. I didn't record it though, so it won't be up on YouTube. But the McFarlane Hunter figure, we're gonna get the Warlock one eventually too. This is the Hunter one that has the Iron Banner armor with the Thorn and Hung Jury. And then the Warlock that we're gonna get for her has the King's Fall gear set, which they have the pictures of them there on the back. The Warlock looks really, really dope too. I like the colors on it. That set, like that purple and blue with the gold.
That looks so good.
And then of course the Titan has the Vault of Glass armor, and then they actually have the Lord Saladin one too that I didn't realize that they have. I'd actually be pretty stoked to get this. And if I get this one, you might as well get the Titan one and just get the whole damn set, right? Like
if we get the whole damn set, we're leaving them in the boxes.
Yeah. And definitely, if I was to get this one, because there's actually another Hunter, there's actually an exclusive Hunter that comes with like a different shader, so like a different color of armor, and then with the Boltcaster sword. That one I would definitely leave in the box, because from what I've been hearing, I've been seeing around Instagram and stuff, it's pretty rare. It's pretty hard to find. Because I saw this post on Instagram. This Destiny player, she was able to find one finally, she said, and I guess she had been looking
forever,
like crazy for it. And, so
yeah.
Our speaking of which, again, I need to see if our Oryx pop vinyl came in yet.
Oh yeah.
I was actually planning on going to the game store today. I didn't make it there though, because I needed to pre-order Shadow of War 2, which is dropping Tuesday. I mean, I'm almost to the point where I might just get it digitally, but you know me, I like pre-order little rewards. Sometimes they give you a poster or whatever, Yeah. And Shadow of War, like I'm a pretty big fan of the Lord of the Rings universe and stuff, and so like I definitely wouldn't mind having something like that from it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so that's pretty much for Destiny. So I'm stoked to have Iron Banner back and diving into that, especially and they did, like I had mentioned before in the past, like I was really hoping, because there was that trailer that came out, there was that still shot that someone took out from the trailer before Destiny 2 released, where it looked like that the Hunter armor was kind of like samurai themed and stuff, how I had mentioned that before, that I was hoping that's where it was going.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like. Like these armor sets do kind of have kind of like a samurai looking theme. It still kind of has somewhat of like the kind of theme that like the Iron Banner first time around had, how it was really like Game of Thrones kind of fantasy style, you know, like you still have a little bit of that, but it's definitely a little bit more samurai themed. And I'm stoked to see what some of this armor will look like with the new Monarchy shaders.
Oh yeah, by far.
With the red and gold and stuff, like that will look sick.
Super stoked.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked on it too. So, so yeah, what's gonna be coming up in the week? Just more Destiny stuff. I finally dove into and played Warframe a little bit today. Speaking of which, too, Plains of Eidolon is supposed to be dropping next week. We have been waiting for a date on that for so long. I need to look more online and stuff to see if they have talked about a specific day. But when I signed into Warframe today, in the little news section on your ship, it was posted 2 days ago, and it said about Plains of Eidolon coming soon. So I clicked on it.
I can't believe you let Devin die.
And it said coming next week. So I'm stoked. The Plains of Eidolon's finally here. So we're going to be diving back into Warframe a lot more. So I'm going to have to be balancing that out with Destiny 2 and that, and then the Destiny 2 PC version on October 24th.
Devin, don't let her die. Yeah. This time.
Yeah, since I didn't play Warframe for about a month since Destiny 2 came out, our space pooch died.
Yeah. You let our love fern die.
Yep. I'll be in the doghouse for a while on that one.
No, you'll still be in bed because I like your cuddles.
All right. On that note, I think we'll wrap this week's episode on that. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, we'll have links and all that in the description down below. Yes. So be sure you check those links out and drop follows and all that hot jazz. And yeah, and we stream this podcast every Sunday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you want to check it out live, drop in at twitch.tv/Solgr only. Yes. Thanks for watching episode 44 of the Solgr and Fusha Only podcast. We will see you next week.
Deuces.